Hi, this video is going to just be talking about how I maintenance my Jebao CP-40, the crossflow gear. I noticed when I first took it apart that I didn't put it back together properly, and so I was thinking that the motor was bad in it, but it turns out that there was a few things that I wasn't looking for that I just want to make sure everyone knows about. So I'm first going to start by taking it apart. I'm going to set this to the side, and we'll start by taking off the side pieces. They come from top down. You'll notice that in them they have a few clips, tabs that snap in there. So you want to be careful of those. And you'll take off both the sides. And then from here we have this rubber gasket. And so we'll pop this out. We'll put this to the side. And we'll take off our rubber gasket pieces. Next, the tilting vents here, they just pull right out. They've got two O-rings on the edge of them, and inside is the fan blades. And so we'll take those two apart, and that will take us down to just the motor. So to take apart the motor, you'll need a pair of needle nose pliers, and you'll look for around the inside lip of the edge of one of these sides will be a clear difference. You'll be able to see that there's like a lip in there. So if you grab the edge of this, it will come free, and you'll have your motor. I've just cleaned this and taken it apart, so obviously I don't have much residue in there right now. But you'll notice that the other side, the white cap here, came right off, and then we have our inside of our motor. So you'll notice that on the edge here we have a key pretty much that goes into a slot inside the edge of this. That's probably a better view. And so when you go to put it back in, you're going to want to make sure you get those lined up. And then it should slide right in. And then the other side has a flat side notch of it, and so you want to line those up and slide those together. Should be pretty firm. Should be able to turn it pretty easily. If anything was rubbing, I usually use some silicone grease. It doesn't hurt anything. The same stuff you use on your faucet, so it's not toxic. Just use little amounts of it. You don't want to be using too much. So inside the edges of the fans, you'll notice that you have a little rubber gasket piece here, which might be easier to just take off with some pliers. So if you grab this piece right here and you slowly tug out, the whole fan blade assembly should come out. This little white piece does come off with some serious force. I'd rather not take that off. So, I mean, you can put a little bit more lubricant right in here and on the edge, which goes into here. You can pop out this white ceramic piece just using the tip of your needle nose pliers or what have you. A little difficult to get in there. I'd like to note that when you're using distilled vinegar to clean these, you want to make sure that any rubber gaskets do not get suspended inside the distilled vinegar for long, because they will start to expand and kind of disintegrate, and they won't be fitting as snugly as you would imagine them to, and it may cause your device to fault. So on reassembly of these, which is probably the most important part, you want to make sure that you have your key notch here lined up with a key notch inside here, and then you go to place it back in, and it's going to take a little bit of force to get in there, but you notice that it's not all the way in yet. You'll see just the tip of the notch sticking out of those when you have it all the way in. So I use my needle nose pliers and I kind of try to grab the holes that are in there and give it a little push and a twist, and you'll notice now that we have the edge of that notch sticking up, and that'll pretty much tell you that you've got it in as far as it can go. If you don't make that all the way, when it goes to power on, it may not turn at all. So you can place your rubber gasket back on there. The other one is all set and ready to go. And then you'll line up your motor mounts here with your rubber gasket and slide them back in. Pretty simple. Make sure it turns pretty good. Get it all set up, and then we'll reassemble our rubber gaskets on the end. And grab our base. Now the base I've never really disassembled. You can see it's a little rough, but with my other power heads, I've noticed that if I try to pop these out, they don't go in easily or they tear. So it's better to just clean this up as best you can. Don't submerge it in distilled vinegar, because these are the rubber silicone gaskets there, and they will get damaged. So then we can place in our edges here. There are little notches on the edges of the gasket to line up. Gives it a little bit of swing motion. And we'll slide in our other side. So you notice that that notch at the bottom here is in place. And then you take your side pieces and you attach it from the bottom. Snap them in place. You should be all set and good to go again. After reassembly, I like to put it in a 5-gallon bucket with some water to make sure it works. I usually let it run for about an hour just to make sure that any of the extra silicone really gets cleared out of there. You don't want anything getting into your tank that you don't want. I usually put it on max speed and make it go as fast as you can, and kind of an intermittent option there. I'm on W3. And just let it sit there, and obviously you can see that all the stuff floating on top of the water, either from the air or from inside of that is really pushed out. And after that, then I'll go reinstall it back into the fish tank. Alright, thanks for watching.